Oops, whoops. What's wrong with me tonight? What's wrong with me tonight? Let's go. What are some common issues that waitresses face in their daily work environments?
Just harassment in general. Our job is to be nice, so we don't want anything in return. It's what we are hired to do.
Mm,
So, it just it can be tough sometimes.
I bet. I bet. What
I
What
mean,
about it?
we're talking about, you know, customers. There might be some coworkers during, over the years, or there's got to be some kind of situation. Lonely people. I had, to be honest with you, I had to tell one of my customers that I it was unprofessional to be her friend because she was making me uncomfortable.
Okay. Okay.
It's my job to be nice. I mean,
But is there a line
it's
between nice? Is
nothing
there a line
more
between
than
nice?
that.
Is there a line between nice and friendship?
Yeah, but I think it was more than friendship for her.
Okay. See, this is where we
Yeah.
come misconstrued today. I don't know a
Yeah.
person's I don't know a person's agenda. Maybe you knew her
Yeah.
agenda.
Yep.
Um. Okay,
It was
let's
it
keep
was
on
it
track
was
right
this.
quick. Let's
Yeah.
keep on
Yep.
track right quick.
Yep.
Okay. Let's go. I really want to talk about. You see, I started this with wage disparities. I talked about men and I talked about women and how wage
Yes.
disparities play. Welcome to the Gag Order, where we challenge the status quo, inspire change. My name is Ali Major, joined by my amazing co-hosts, Majin and Kia. Today we're diving into a powerful topic, and the topic is friendship. And tonight I really want to weigh the odds on what a friendship really is, on are we living and being friends today, and I want to see what you guys have to feel about that. So to kick things off, let's discuss what friendship means to each of us. What makes a friendship meaningful? And I will start with Kia since Kia's the one on screen with me right now. So I guess you have to be the one that I come to first. So talk to me. Um, what makes a friendship meaningful?
So you gotta be truthful. So like the honesty has to play in the like play a huge part. You gotta be loyal because if you ain't loyal to me, then you gotta go. Um, you gotta be open minded, but like outspoken as well. You got to be open minded, but you have to have that outspoken sense about. I don't care if I'm right, then I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm still right in public. But when we get in private, bitch, you better correct me. Like I'm that one. So like that's yeah. If you can't do that, if you can't pull me to the side and be like, bitch, I'm gonna have your back in public. Hell yeah, always, no doubt about it. But bitch, you was dead ass wrong. Like if you
Absolutely.
can't do that, then you can't be considered my friend.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Friends always got to keep it a buck. And I agree with you 100% on that right there. I'm a full fledged person who believes that friendship should be solid. And I think that friendship, I think what makes it meaningful is the connection. Um, I have friends that don't do exactly what I do, especially today. Nowadays, it's completely different in my life. but they will always and are always they my peoples. I always got they back 100%. Um, uh, and no matter how much they struggle, I'm struggling too, and I understand that life is a struggle, and we all struggle. Everybody got their own chapter. So I love people for who they are, not what they could do for me or what they do or not what they do. But I love people for who they are. You know, as long as it's within my standards of being legit, I could deal with it. If it's out of my range, then I can't do shit with it. Meijing, can I know how you doing tonight first? I started
Good.
this all wrong, but I'm about to go back to it. Meijing, let me ask you, what makes a friendship meaningful?
I think loyalty, being able to depend on someone, being able to trust someone. I think there's a lot of things, right?
Absolutely,
Um,
I agree.
how you get along with people, sharing common interests, all sorts of different things.
Okay, you said a bunch of things that I'm gonna get into the show. But before we get further into the show, I did want to take, and I told myself in the beginning of the show, I was gonna take a personal moment with you guys and ask you guys how you doing on a personal level today. Kia, I know you went through something, and I know you're going through something, and been going through something for a little minute now. So I'm gonna start with you, Kia, and I'm gonna ask you how you doing today first. How you doing?
Um, I'm okay. I'm better. You know, death hit people differently, so I don't know. I think that the older I get, the more people that I experience the loss with, the more I can understand death and like, how it's supposed to be and
Mm,
that we really don't have no say so in it.
mm,
Um, so I don't know. It's just, day by day, it's different. Every day
absolutely,
different. So today
absolutely.
I'm doing better than I was yesterday. Yesterday I was a big ass crybaby. Today I had like my little session where I was a crybaby for like a good 5 minutes, but then like, chin up, chest out, gotta
Hmm.
keep pushing. So
That's right. That's right. Me and you both have dealt with death recently, and I salute you. Hats off to you, and how I know how it feels. I'm pretty sure all of us do at this age and at this time in our lives. With what's going on today, I'm pretty sure all of us have seen and understand that part of life. Um, um, Meijing, how you doing today? How was your day?
Good. I can't complain.
Good. I'm
I had
glad.
my little grandbabies, so that was fun.
ah, okay. That gets a little frustrating after a while, but like you said, it's grandbaby, so you could just kick them ass home. You know, feed them candy, get them all amped up, get them excited, and then
Exactly.
be like, "Here you go."
Right. And then pick them up and I'm free.
Absolutely, I get it. I get it. I'm glad to see you guys are doing good. Even though life, like I know it. I know it to be hard. So let's keep pushing. Let's keep being strong, and let's keep staying motivated. You know what I'm saying?
well,
That's
how are
all.
you?
Huh?
How are you?
Um, shit. Thank you for asking. I'm good, man. Life is a dream, but at the same time, this dream is it's very hard to navigate. It's very pivotal. And sometimes life will come and give you whammies or slap you in the face, and you just got to bounce back. You just got to bounce back and keep pushing. I go through it all the time. My cousin passed away a couple weeks ago, and not only that, I've been like I said, ladies, I'm really 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 trying to get this, us, and everything in order. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes that's going on that I'm really got my heart into. And when you put your heart into something, it takes a toll. I'm saying you really want that shit to move. But thank you for asking. And now we're gonna move on, and we're gonna keep going with this friendship shit. I've noticed today, and I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna go off task and say, I've noticed today people have been acting a little phonier than normal. Well, than I used to remember. Maybe it was me dreaming of how things or how I thought things were, or maybe it is a reality. I don't know. I want to ask you guys the same thing. Does it seem like today things are changing on a friendship level than it was when we were younger?
Hell yeah. Is that really a question?
I mean, I want to know. I want to know. I understand. I understand. I understand. But I really want to know. I really want to know what you guys like. Like, what has changed? What do you guys? What do you guys think has changed?
The definition of friendship, in
Mm-hmm.
my personal opinion, the definition has changed. The role models that we have to look up to when it comes down to like looking at people saying like, oh, they've been friends for years. Like, I want a relationship like that. We don't have that no more to look up to. Like, kids just think that I don't know. The kids these days, they different. They really a different breed. They really cut from a different cloth, and you can't even describe them because they so different than what it was when I was growing up. Even like the little difference in the time span, because I am the baby out of the show
Mm-hmm.
still.
Yep.
Like the teenage kids that I know, and like the ones that I had to watch turn 18 and stuff, like they real different. Like this generation don't like washing their ass.
I've
Like
heard that.
That's so weird.
I've heard that shit.
generation is famous for it. Like I don't understand. Like the boys don't take showers, the girls don't wash their ass. Both of y'all can't be some funk boxes, okay? So like that comes into play when it comes to friendships too,
Yeah,
because
that's
these
true.
friends these days they'll let you walk around smelling like ass and sweat
And that's
and
fucked up,
won't
ain't it?
say
That's a fucked up
nothing.
friend. That's a fucked up friend. Got big
You
ass
hear
booger
me?
coming out your nose and shit. They don't say nothing to you. They just let
You
you
got
walk
the little
around.
sleep crust on your eyes. You got drool coming down. Man, listen.
Ah man, what you think? Huh? What do you think the difference is? What do you think it changed that?
'Cause, well, a lot of things. I think that with the internet, it's given people 24/7 access to one another.
Mm,
So relationships in general are harder to manage to begin with. And then on top of it, because everything is so accessible, there's no real need for extreme loyalty, right? Like back in the day, people bonded together over common interests, common goals,
yep,
all these different things. And
yep.
that's what they formed their friendships and their groups and their bonds over.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now they don't necessarily have to do that. And they can absolutely go on and just find a new friend. So things are very disposable in our society at this point, as opposed to years ago. And
Think
that
about
rings
it.
true to everything: our furniture, our TVs,
Yeah,
our refrigerators. Like nothing lasts more than a few years. Um, and I
absolutely
guess
right.
the good part about that is at the end of the day, things do come and go all the time. People move, they die, different things happen. But the bad part about that is that we have no real intimacy anymore. And we don't rely on each other, and things are very disposable, and it's a quick fix. So we don't have the support we once had, and that's why people are so emotionally vulnerable, I think.
May I have another question for you? You spoke on something. It's called
What?
real intimacy. I would like for you to describe what real intimacy is to me, so I understand exactly what you mean.
Well, real intimacy is being able to understand someone on a deeper, more interpersonal level, and to be able to be vulnerable with that person,
Mm,
right? That's why cheating is so terrible, because you actually allow someone else to challenge your emotional intimacy with your original partner. So it's the same thing in friendships. You have to have a certain level of emotional intimacy. You have to trust them in your good times, in your bad times, when you're happy, when you're sad. Um, they have to be almost like a safe space for you. And that's what emotional intimacy is that ability to have that vulnerability and that connection that goes beyond just shallow and superficial interactions.
okay, I get it. I get it. Thank you for that. Thank you. Let's see what we have here. um, huh. How do you both view trust in friendships? Can I? Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just since I got her on the roll and she's on a firehouse tonight. Let me start with Kia. Kia, give me let me get that info. How do you view trust in your friendships?
Well, see, I'm different. I can only trust you to a certain extent. I don't give a damn who you are.
Okay.
I can trust you as far as I can fucking throw you.
Okay.
Like I done learned my lesson on having trust issues and shit like that. Like I don't know. Trust when they come to friends. You gotta come back, Major. You gotta answer that one first. Or Ali, you go ahead and take the
Okay.
lead because I don't know the
Okay.
answer to that.
May, do you have an answer for me? How do you view trust in your in your friendship?
Well, I think that trust is a slippery slope, right? And I
Mm,
think that you can trust people. I don't know. Like I trust for me is a weird topic because you really should trust someone almost blindly when you first meet them, right? You should be able to take them on their word, and that's what we're told, or that's what we feel we should be able to do, but we all know that that's not the truth, right?
mhm.
So there has to be some level of discernment so that you don't wind up getting taken advantage of or abused or whatever in certain ways. So I think that boundaries are very important in trust. And I also feel that the other thing that's important in trust is to, while you're trusting people, also stay somewhat in reality, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes I listen to the things that people believe or trust or think or whatever, and it's very hard for me to understand how they believe
That's
those
right.
things. So at that point, are you trusting someone or are you being naive and stupid? Right? It's a fine line. And so that's kind of a hard question for me because, again, it depends one on the person you're interacting with, two, you have to hold a certain level of boundary, and three, it takes enough time to be able to know whether or not you really can trust that person. I don't
Okay.
think trust is really something that you can have off the rip. It's got to be established over time, you know?
Okay. Um, I want to speak on this, and I waited till last for a reason. I also gotta. I'm gonna admit something to you, ladies. First, I'm gonna say, Meijin, I disagree with you. I believe that you should trust a person up front until they break it down. I'm a person that meets a person and I'll trust them because guess what? I don't know them. They'll start with a clean slate. But then still, as I go through life with them, and as they prove me wrong, then I start distrusting them. So I always go in a relationship thinking that a person is okay, and that's probably a downfall of mine. It's probably because you know, I always say, and my mother would tell you that I was born with a good heart, but being bad with a good heart is never good. I was placed around a bunch of fucking grease bags, and I mean, like I was in the projects. I hung out there. I stayed out there. I was out there 3 in the morning, trying to bag up and make money. So you gotta understand, I seen some really fucked up people. So trust for me and friendships is really hard. And I went to prison. I dealt with all the characters that was there, and it's really fucking hard to trust people when you was in a pool of shit. So now that I'm not in a pool of shit, sceneries change, and it's hard for me to accept the trust part. But like I said, it's a work. Everything in life is a work in progress. So how do I view trust in friendships? I I'm a I'm a person that believes in riding for what you believe in. All the people I told you, I told you those are my niggas. I don't give a fuck. Yo, those was my dudes, and they knew me. So I'm a person that give wholeheartedly in my friendships. So I view trust as somebody who's willing to do the same for me. And it's hard to find. That's hard to find. So uh
I
um
agree with you, Ali.
thank you, thank you,
So
thank you, thank you,
I
thank you.
definitely agree with you. I do try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but my downfall comes into play because my I know I have a big heart. I can literally know that you're doing me wrong and distance you, but I'm still gonna help you because I know that in the end you still gonna need that help. That's the part that always fucks
I've
me
got
up.
over that. I got over that, Kia. Prison
And that's
prison
the thing.
chipped all
I'm
that
trying
off of
to
me.
Look, I'm trying to get over it, but like I'm slowly starting to understand. Like people really don't like people. Not everybody is supposed to be in your life for forever. Like it's real when they say that people really do come into your life for a season. You know what I mean? So I can understand that, and that's how I be trying to
Well,
look at it. But I also feel like if I
take
can help, then I'm a help.
Got you, May. Let me get what you
But
say
a
before.
taker's always gonna take. You know what I mean? And that's what I was saying about boundaries. And we didn't disagree. I do believe that you should trust people when you meet them to a point. But you can't trust people blindly
Nah, not
because if you
stupidly. You're
do,
right.
then that is when you get taken advantage of.
You're right.
So yes, you give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but you're not going to give somebody you just met keys to your house. You're not going to give them the pin to your ATM.
You're
You're not going
absolutely
to
right.
give them, you know what I mean?
I agree.
You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
Go to your phone. Like there's some level of discernment. There's some boundary there because you can't trust people blindly
I agree.
because a taker will always take. And
I
at the
agree.
end of the day, a giver's always going to give, like Kia said, regardless, even when they're being taken advantage of. Because when you have a good heart and you want to be a good person, you look at it from exactly like Kia said, well, shit, they need the help. And because you are a decent human being, you want to be able to do that if you can. And I agree with that. And listen, I've helped. So Ali, like my story about the lady with the fingers, right? Can I
Mm-hmm.
tell my story about the lady
Yep.
with the
Yep.
fingers?
Go ahead.
So I was at work the other day, and one of my clients had someone in the home, very very not on the up and up individual, begging me for help. Had two weird bandages on their hands. Long story short, she followed me to my car, and revealed to me that she had been kidnapped and that they cut off both of her index fingers and
Wow.
proceeds to take down the bandages
Wow.
and show the stumps of where her index fingers used to be.
Wow.
So I said to her, you know, I said, well, I said, did you get caught stealing? And she said to me, yes. And I said to her, well, that was a hard lesson you learned, huh? And she said, yes. And then, she proceeded to beg me and cry and say she didn't want to die and she needed my help, yada, yada. Long story short, I wound up changing her bandages out of the back of my trunk in the middle of East Hartford. And it was hard for me because she had a very negative aura and she had her fingers cut off because she stole from her drug dealer and then got caught on camera using his credit card. So she has a very little discernment. So she could have very well had me change her dressings and then took my car and whatever, whatever. But much like you, Kia, I had to make the choice of am I going to let this lady go septic and die in the middle of the street somewhere, or am I going to be the bigger person and give her the benefit of the doubt that she's crying and begging me and telling me no, she really just wants help,
Okay.
right? So I took the chance and I did it. But realistically speaking, she could have very well waited till I did her bandages, hit me over the head, took all my rings, and stole my car.
Or
And then we
even
were
worse, Nadine. Look, or even worse, right after you rechanged her bandages, she could have went into the same shit all over again.
well, it was
How you
I,
think?
it's kind of funny because clearly she's smokes crack. That's why they cut off her index fingers to make it harder for her to smoke crack. So, but people like that are not going to change, and incidents like that don't even change them, which I think is scarier. But that's why it's so hard. When you do things for people, you really have to do it from the heart and without expectation. And sometimes the expectation has to be that something bad might happen, but again, that's discernment and a choice that you make. And I agree with you, Kia. I think that sometimes, yeah, sometimes you make the choice. Like with this lady, I was like, you know what, God, fine, I'm gonna do it, and I did it, and I was not happy the whole time, but I did it. But there's other times with people in other situations where I'm like, no, GFY, like I'm not doing this, because you have to be able to
Ratio.
assess the situation.
Yep. That's right. That's right. You're right.
So
You're absolutely right on that. Uh, May, I would like to say, kudos to you for helping her. I would have helped her anyway. She didn't do anything wrong to me. So until, like I said, I'll fuck with a person until they fuck me over. So I'd have helped her. She was bleeding, she was hurting, whatever. I would have helped her. That's not a question. I help her. I help a person in need. But it's when that person in need turn around and stab you. How many times you gonna let them stab you? That's what I'm talking about.
My father, Ali, my father used to say, if every time you open the door I punch you in the face, how many times are you going to open the door?
That's right. That's right. That's absolutely correct. Real friendships are built on trust. Friends confide in each other, share secrets, and support one another during difficult times. Um, Another critical element I want to move over to is mutual respect. I think I have a clause for it. Let's see. Boom. Mutual respect is vital in friendships. Friends value each other's opinion and boundaries, which foster healthy relationships. What does your ideal friendship look like? And I would like this time to start with May. What is your ideal friendship with anybody? It could be anybody. What is your ideal friendship? Like, what would be the perfect scenario of the perfect person that, oh, before we do that, that's what I was about to say. Kia, you spoke on something and said, relationships are for a season. I wanted to ask you then, why does a long lasting lifetime relationship, when you knew somebody for 15, 20 years, why does it feel so good? If they're only here for a season, why do those relationships that last a lifetime feel so fucking good? Why does
Well, that's
when a
the thing.
person, huh?
I said, well, to me, that's the thing. I don't feel like that applies to everybody. Like, there are some genuine people that's going to come into your life that will remain there. But then you
Mm,
also have those ones that will come in at random given times that'll be there, that can
okay.
use you, that can actually help you out. And then they disappear. Like, that's
So
just
you
it.
believe in the three different types of friend theory: the friends who look out through the window and see you through a window but don't know what's going on in the house, the friend
Yep.
that you let in the door but they may not stay in the door because you grow old and then you grow apart.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then the lifelong friend, the I forgot what they
Absolutely.
call
I
that
do.
one. Okay, all
I,
right, I get it. I get that. I understand that right there. Um,
I also feel like that's a part of growing, though. It's like a part of growth. So if you look at like the
okay,
process of a grow, like the process of growing a tree, like it always got to be rooted. If it's not rooted, then it's not gonna stand strong. You get
okay,
what I'm saying? So
okay.
I feel like your friendships have to be rooted, and if it's not rooted the right way, then it is what it is. Like sometimes you gotta sever that tie and start over.
Okay,
But
so
at
what is your ideal friendship that lasts a lifetime? Like, does the person believe exactly how you believe? Do you guys have like the same likes, or what exactly makes those? See, this is what I'm trying to find out. What exactly makes those type of things here? What do you think? What do you feel? How do you think your ideal? And I'm gonna go back to May. Your ideal friendship.
I need somebody that wants to, like, I'm very active, so I like people that like to do things with me.
Damn.
I like
Okay.
people that have good sense of humors. I like people that don't get locked into a lot of negativity.
Okay.
I like
But if
people
they don't, but
who,
if they don't, and they're the opposite, can you still be friends with that person?
to a point, you know what I
Mm.
mean?
So they're the
And
friends
I
looking through the
think
window.
that this is where we start to decompartmentalize our friendships, right?
Okay.
Because there's people who I love to go out with, but that I wouldn't tell one thing about my real personal life, right? And
Okay.
then there's other people that I will call to make sure that they are okay because, like Kia said, at one point in my life they meant something else to me, but at this point maybe they're ill or they're can't function at a level that they used to function at. So components of our friendship that made it different are not there anymore, but that doesn't mean that I no longer value them.
Okay.
It just and like Kia said,
Okay.
moreover to that same point, I do whatever I can to try to help them as well. So anything that I can do, outside of my normal busy schedule, I do to try to help people because I like to help people. And I don't really expect anything in return because to me, the act of service is what I enjoy. Um, Some people say it's because I'm a Virgo. Some people say it's because I'm a nurse. I don't know what it's because. I just know that, like you said, Ollie, those are the type of things that make me feel good.
Okay,
But
there
I
you go.
do agree with Kia to a point on the friends for a season thing, not from the perspective so much of her, but just in general of life, because, you know, the only thing we have control over in this life is how we react in whatever situation we happen to be in it at the time,
Mhm.
right? So you and I could have been together since we were 11 years old, been in love, had a million kids, everything could be perfect, we could be millionaires, blah blah blah, and you could die at 38 years old. I could die at 38 years old.
Yeah.
You know, you could get dementia, and maybe you don't die, right? Maybe you don't die, but maybe you get dementia and we can't communicate or be together anymore. You got to go, into facility or something.
Okay.
Like there's so many
Does
different
that change? Does
scenarios.
that change the? Does that change the friendship? Does that change the
Of course
friendship?
it does.
No way.
Of
Not
course
for
it does.
me. Not for me.
Of course it does.
Not for
Yeah, if
me.
we can't, you don't know who I am. If I have dementia and I don't even know who you are when you come see me, it does change it. It may not change how you feel internally about me, but
Okay.
the actual relationship has changed, right?
The
And that's the way
dynamics
it
of
goes.
it has changed,
And
but the
then,
feelings, the times, the history, the memory,
well,
the
that's
everything is should
the
still be intact.
right, but that's not the actual relationship. That's the emotions behind the relationship.
That's what
The
stays
actual
intact. That's what makes you do things that you wouldn't normally do for other people.
right, but the actual relationship isn't going to continue on the same basis. It changes.
Okay.
So, like Kia said, the season has changed. You still value that. I have a friend, Anne, and she got very ill a long time ago. And I don't have excessive time, obviously, between work and the kids, but I do whatever I can for her. But it's changed. Like our relationship has changed. She can't, go out like she used to. She can't do things she used to. So not that my intimacy with her has not changed.
Mm-hmm.
I still love her. I still value her. I still call her. I still check on her. I still help her whenever I can. But the actual dynamics of the relationship are no longer the same.
Okay. All
You
right.
know.
All right. At this time, I'm gonna take a little break, and we'll be right back. Yes. Okay, we're going to go to support and loyalty. Friends celebrate success and provide comfort during failures. Conflict resolution is also a vital, healthy friendship. Excuse me, I must have typed that wrong. I'm trying to read it from down here. But friendships can withstand conflicts and disagreements. That's basically what I was asking. I'm asking, how do you both handle conflicts within your friendships? Pardon me for the misspelling on the screen, but players fuck up. Can I start with? I like the way I was going. May, can I start with you first? How do you handle
Um,
conflicts with your friends?
Actually, it's like this is a very interesting thing for me because I've really changed a lot over the years as far as this goes. Because
Okay.
when I was young, I was a lot quicker to dead people. Like I was like, I am not okay. So that as much, and you know what? People like laugh at me when I say this because they watch me on stuff like this, and they're like, "You're crazy. You're full of it. Like you love conflict." But I don't. I like debate. I like um, educated debate that like makes a point, right? I don't
Okay.
like confrontation in terms of arguing, especially in my own personal relationships, for a couple reasons. One, I know myself, and if you make me too upset, like my late great Wonder Twin Dominic used to say, I'm going to be outside with the Dobermans and the music's going to be playing from the Omen in the background. Like, I can only control myself so long, and I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. So that's first and foremost. Second of all, I just feel like at that point, when all of that is going on, is when you do damage to a relationship because you are angry and you say things you don't mean. Or, I mean, maybe you mean them, but like you're not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? Like
I
they're
know.
being said maliciously.
Yep, that's right.
And the problem is that sometimes when you're in the heat of that conflict, you say or do things that you can't take back and or change after the fact, right?
Hmm.
So, in my own personal journey and of growth in human development, I have learned that I don't want to do a few things, right? So, first of all, I still hate conflict, so I will avoid it at all costs. But the things I've learned is like what's on the screen, conflict resolution. So, I will always have the conversation with you as long as it is geared toward having a resolution to the conflict. And when I do have the conversation, I try to stay very based in facts and not use a lot of emotion and very few words because that's when things go awry, right?
Mm.
What I don't do is I don't have circular conversations.
Okay.
I don't like semantics,
Hmm.
and I'm not just going to keep going back and forth with you over nothing. And like I said, because again, I know myself, and not that I get as mean as I once did, but I'm still going to get mean and I'm going to hurt your feelings. And I don't want to do that because
Mm.
those are things that we're not ever really going to come back from. So at this point, I choose if things get to that point, even if someone hurts my feeling, I just say to them, wow, I'm sorry you feel that way. And I just call it a day, or even like if there's too much back and forth, I'll just say to somebody, you know what, I'm just going to remove myself from this situation. Thank you for the experience. And it's so funny because people think I'm kidding until because I'm so calm about it, people think I'm kidding until they realize it's a real thing. And then when I won't communicate with you and I won't respond to you, then they lose their minds. But it's like, for what? You're not going to get me into a state of emotional disarray just for something that's never going to be resolved. I'm not doing all that.
Mm.
I could care less. You could go be
Okay.
miserable by yourself somewhere.
Agreed.
I'll walk
Agreed.
away. I'll walk away 100% of the
Agreed
time.
to
I don't give a
some.
shit.
Agreed to some points. I'll come. I'll come back. I'll come back because I agree with you on a lot of points. And I used to be a hot headed and temper too. I used to have a real bad temper. Kia, can I know how you handle conflicts with your friends?
Yeah, but can I ask you one question first?
Yeah.
Why is there three hotheads on this damn show? Why?
Yeah.
Those are the ones that get along with each other.
Three fucking firecrackers on this damn show right now. I don't understand.
So Kia,
Um, all right, so first off, I was the one that actually liked the confrontation back when I was growing up. Like my high school days, I ain't give a fuck. You look at me wrong, bitch. I want to fight. See me outside. Lunchtime. Oh, I'll meet you out there. Like I'm that one. But like since I grew up, I don't really deal with conflict. I don't. If me and my friends get into it, either like you got within the first 5 minutes of us trying to settle it and squash it, or even I'm gonna just take a break from you for a couple of days, and then when we go back to talking, everything is like nothing ever happened. I don't care what happened when the last day that we talked. What you been doing? Like my friendship go right back to it, so I don't care. I can say whatever I gotta say. It all come from love. Like it's all me coming from love. I don't give a fuck how blunt it gotta be though.
one of those two.
Bitch, you being dumb. Like you're being dumb. Like I'm that friend. And it can hurt your feelings and you can be like, you know what, I'm gonna just call you back. Okay. I'll holler at you in the next few days. You'll get over it though. Like I'm that one. So
Okay,
I'm like, if I don't love you, I ain't gonna say it.
you're tough
And if
love.
I have to sugarcoat it, we have a problem. If I
Okay.
can't say it to you bluntly, then you can't be my friend. That's where my mutual respect come in at. Because I expect my friends to be able to say anything. I don't give a fuck what it sound like, how bad it may be. Bitch, if you my friend, you better tell me. That's just like I expect if there's a strand of my hair out of place and we out together, like, oh bitch, fix your hair. Oh, you got that one piece hanging. I need all that. I need all
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I feel the same way, but a lot of people don't like that. But I'm with you, Kia, and you know what? I am going to tell you, I don't give, back when I was young, I would give unsolicited opinions no matter what. Like if you were talking to me about it, I would give you my unsolicited opinion. In my older age, I try not to voice my opinion unless I'm asked for it. But the minute you ask me for it, you are going to get 100% brutal honesty. And I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. I'm sorry if you don't like it. Um, Again, it's never malicious. And like you said, it's always from a point of trying to help you to improve. So if you, I feel, and so it becomes like a catch 22 with me, with my friends, right? Because my friends who really know me, if they're telling me something or talking to me about something and I'm not saying anything, then they get like, well, blah blah blah, and I'm like, listen, I'm trying to be good, like just let me be quiet, let me be great, because you're not gonna like what I have to say. So I give them that. Of course they always want to know anyway, and then they get mad anyway. But I have had all of my friends are long-standing friends. I've had my friends for many many years, so they already know what's up. So, they get mad, but they get over it. It is what it is.
Okay.
And generally, what I'm saying is not, I think whatever I say in life, for the most part, I think about before I say. So if I'm telling you
Good point.
something, it, it's because I've really thought about either the situation or what you've said or so on and so forth. I'm not just popping off at the mouth. So at that point, either you're going to respect my view of it or you're not. And if you don't, then keep it pushing and stop asking me. I don't know what else to tell you.
Okay. With my
Find someone
friends,
who's
what?
gonna
What'd you
feed
say?
into your Delulu.
What did you say, May?
I said find somebody who's gonna feed into your Delulu.
Okay. All right. Well, first, before I say what I was about to say, I was gonna say I tend not to go with emotional pretense. I don't say things to hurt people's feelings. The truth may hurt your feelings, but you won't say that I called you out your name or told you to get right or told you something was wrong with you. I'll speak of the situation, but as far as me sitting there and men are different. Men won't men don't really pay attention to your physical structure all the time. I know I don't. You know what I mean? I may have a homeboy. I'm not, seeing if every hair is right on his head. So I don't do that.
What you supposed to tell him when he got a boogie sticking
I
out
mean,
of his
if I
nose?
see it, if I see it, I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna be like this to him, but
If he
but
walking around with a nappy head, you supposed to be like, "Come on, bro, we gotta go barbershop or
I'm
something. We
saying
gotta
that
do
might be
something."
his style. That might be how he want to rock that shit. Some
Okay,
ladies
we'll
might
have that
like.
conversation to get that viewpoint.
They,
Then
they
it'd
might
be
like
different
that
if you
nappy
have
dug
that
out.
conversation. Okay, have that conversation because that person could just be being lazy. Like,
I'm saying if he
I don't
looked dingy
feel
as
like.
hell, then listen, I'm not gonna want to go to wherever we were supposed to go. But I'm saying as far as me telling him how to dress, nah, that's out of my wheelhouse.
But
but
you would want somebody to tell you that you look country as hell if you mix matching colors and shit, right?
yeah, but I don't
If I
expect
put the
that.
wrong
That's
shade
that's
with a
that's not
purse or
my
something,
that's
then
not my first expectation. If I see some weird shit, I'm a laugh and I'm gonna throw some jokes or something. It's gonna be all roast. But yeah, my peoples is my peoples, and I know them. I know that I know exactly how they're gonna come or dress or kind of like. I mean, so it's them. And like I said, I respect people and love people for who they are. So yeah, I believe that conflicts can be handled um by not if you have a friend and you have a conflict, you shouldn't push the issue. You shouldn't, if you see the energy is already up, like I'm not gonna no longer will I square up with my mans and try to be friends after that. I know that don't work. Um no longer will I do certain things that I knew that I tried or did in the past. So like seriously, how you handle conflicts is by peacefully and staying calm and like May said, keeping your composure. The best thing is to hit them with knowledge and common sense. Common sense will always rule, and that's always king. So I mean, knowledge is like I say it all the time. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the more tact you use on a situation, the better you are. Kia, I understand. I know your personality. You a hard love a person, but you don't know how they feeling this day with that hard love. So yeah, bitch, yeah, you know I love you, but you know that right there might not hit right on the right day, and then she disappeared from you, and then you know y'all got to mend the relationship after. See, I don't go through that with my peoples. A lot of my dudes that I've been around for like 20 years. Like I don't go through those problems. Like we don't really come into those conflicts because like my man Christian, I know not to get into religious conversations with him because he believed one way and one way only. So I know that right there is going to lead to a bad situation. So we don't even touch those situations. We talk about other things. We don't do that.
Well, and sometimes, and that's good when you can do that, but there's certain situations where you can't do that, right? So there's certain situations where, whether it be like a person's significant other, or
Mind your business.
a behavior that they're exhibiting, like a drug addiction or something. Like there are certain
Okay.
things that come into play where even if you don't address them, they still directly affect your relationship. For example, one of my
Okay.
long term friends since I
Okay.
was very, very young, the guy that she wound up being with since we were young was extremely controlling. And he really never let her leave the house. Um, and like I
I
said, no
understand.
love lost. I called her, I spoke with her, but we couldn't do anything together. We couldn't go out to lunch, we couldn't shop. I mean, once a year we were allowed to go for Black Friday, and we were allowed to go out for lunch together on our birthdays, but we had to send him a picture of ourselves and call him while we were there, and everything else. So again, that was nothing within our relationship, and it was not something I could avoid, right? I had another friend, and he was my friend for years and years and years. And his mother actually had got him to start smoking crack when we were teenagers. Um, and uh, long story short, we could not be friends because the lifestyle he chose and the activity he was doing and the way he was functioning made it impossible for us to maintain our friendship any longer.
Okay.
And again, something that was unavoidable that I couldn't just say, well, I'm just going to not think about that part of him, right? Or
Okay.
I'm just not going to think about her husband because it didn't matter if I thought about them or not. It still was directly affecting the relationship. So I agree with you to a point. I think that there are certain things like if I know you're a Democrat and you hate Trump, I'm not going to bring him up. If I know, that you like are extremely religious, I'm not going to talk to you about any kind of religious diversity. So yes, those type of things you can avoid. I even feel like for me, I even try to avoid giving any kind of opinions about my relationships unless they exactly ask me for them. Because honestly, at the end of the day, I'm not having sex with them. I don't care what you do with yourself. So again, until it comes to that point where it's directly affecting me in some way, like
Okay.
I don't even think it's bringing up.
Okay. Um, I do have a serious question at the end of this quote right here. I say, "Have friends been there to support you at tough times?" I've been there to support people at tough times. Have friends been there to support you at tough times?
Are you
Uh,
asking me?
yes, I'm asking you. Excuse me. That question is for both of you, and it was a short question. That's the reason why I just asked it out there. Have friends been there to support you through tough times?
I You know what? I've had friends there support that have supported me.
Yeah.
I've had friends that me when I've needed support, and I've also had strangers show up for me that I never expected to. So I think it's a crapshoot, right? It's a hit or miss, and
Absolutely.
I think that when those kind of things happen, you're able to weed people out, right? So if I have surgery and nobody comes to see me, then those are the people you weed out. You know, the ones that call you, that check on you, that door dash you, that whatever. Like those are the ones that you know are invested in your relationship.
Okay.
And sometimes, you know, I really feel like sometimes God puts you in positions to show you what people are really like.
So what happens when the other person is going through life trouble at the same time and you're going through your issue, but it's clashing? I mean, you by what you just said, they're not supporting you, so you'd weed them out. But what if their life was just as tragic at the same time?
Well, but then that's discernment, right? So I can't fault you if you're having a problem. Like
Hmm.
if we're both in the hospital at the same time, obviously I can't be mad at you,
Okay.
you know, or if or anything, maybe you're in financial distress. Like people all have to deal with their own lives at the end of the day.
Hmm.
But what I'm saying is people who have the time and are capable of showing up for you that don't.
Got you. Got you.
Right? It's like the friend that every year you make a big deal out of their birthday, and then your birthday comes around and they barely call you or they
Oh,
barely
excuse
talk
me.
to you.
Wrong
Or,
one.
you know, the family member that gets mad at you because you missed their cookout, but yet they haven't been to one of your parties in the last 5 years. You know, people only really value their own selves in a lot of ways. Um, so it is what it is. I don't
You're
know.
right. And right now, everybody, if you guys pay attention to the bottom of the screen, I'm gonna start flipping through while we're still talking. But the history of friendships right here will be posted right here at the bottom, if you see. And then I wanted to take everybody through a vivid little walk of how friendships in digital ages have shaped friendships. And the best way to do it is show exactly the evidence of how history has led us. So I actually started with the ancient cultures in Greece, and social standings and civic duties used to be the meaning of friendships. You used to only, and Meijin was right. They used to hold friendships where you were placed in society. She was 100% correct. Um, uh, and the root word of relations I have up here, I wanted everybody to know how and where the relationship or friendship, it's two words and they stuck them together with a suffix. And you should know meanings of words. We all should know exactly what the fuck is being said when it's said. Um, I, ladies, know that the word nice doesn't mean, it didn't start as a good thing. The word nice actually means foolish. The word nice actually means, he's easy to get over on. That's why Italians used to be like, he's a nice guy, because, he's a fucking nice guy. You can get over on him quite easy, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, they say no more nice guy, right?
Yeah. During the medieval period, friendships revolved around loyalty and social class, while Renaissance celebrated personal bonds. As we shift towards modern friendships, we see individualism as a personal choice. And before, it never used to be a personal choice for you to choose a peasant as a friend if you were in the King's Royal Army. It just didn't work that way. And as we went through history, it followed the same suit. Fathers wanted their daughters to marry families that had power and money. So they pre-made the marriage before the kids even grew up and stuck them together because of social class and difference. So in the modern age, we chose more towards individualism. Uh, in today's digital age, and I definitely wanted to bring this up. It, as you see down there at the bottom, it says it superficial relationships. It can result in plenty of them. I got 1,000 fucking friends on fucking TikTok. Or 7,000, 10,000, 100,000 friends over here. It leaves in the superficial relationships. You're calling them friends, but are they friends? Are they really your friends? that's the
Nope.
that's the crazy twist that we have in today's time. There's no personal bond, no connection between the two, other than the like of a post. And that's where we're at right there. Do you guys disagree with what I just said?
Oh no, I agree 100%.
All right. Let's see. Um, I also wanted to show people the meaning of how the meaning of excuse me, the exact reasons why the cultural shift of friendship has changed. And as you see, I have three forms right there, and I'm gonna let them read. But while people are reading, ladies, I want to know, as far as friendships today, when you go out places and you're around people, I don't know if you guys are social butterflies or not, but how easy it is it today to spark a conversation with somebody? And I'm gonna start with Kia first. How easy is it just to go out and just to spark a conversation with a random person you do not know?
Um, if I was like the real people person, it would be very easy. But
Mm,
because I have a hard time trusting people, I don't want to walk up to nobody and start no random conversation. If you drop something, I'm gonna pick it up and give it back to you, but I'm going by my day. There is no, don't really want to conversate. No, stick to what you know.
okay. Okay, May, can I get how easy is it for you to go out and just talk to random people?
My God, that's all people do is talk to me. So I don't know. To me, everybody wants to talk to me. So I
It's
don't
very
know.
easy. It's very easy for
I
you.
for me, it's the I'm trying to get away from people usually.
Okay.
I have even when I'm out, like people photobomb me all the time. And don't get me wrong, I love that kind of stuff. I think it's super fun. Like I love people that want to have a good time with me and so on and so forth. Um, but I don't ever have that. I mean, very few times do I have that experience where I feel like I can't connect with anybody somewhere.
Okay.
You know,
Mm.
usually I can fake it till I make it. I'm not saying
Mm.
I'm gonna like people. I'm not
Mm.
saying that I'm gonna become best friends with them, but I can absolutely adapt myself to whatever social situation I'm in to be able
Okay.
to have a good time and be pleasant. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
I find myself. I am a sociable person, but like I said, life and situations have led me into hard spots. So I definitely like to talk, and I will talk to a random person, no questions asked. But it seems like the ratio or the number or percentage of people who are social butterflies or people who will go out and spark a conversation are getting smaller and smaller. I think that COVID and all this in the house and ordering from Amazon has led people to a place to where they're comfortable in their own environment. And I don't think that well, there are people who go out all the time and stay out all the time, but for the majority of the people, I think that they're kind of finding things to do off on their own. I don't know. May you see all the people all the time, and I see people all the time too. But on the big standpoint of life, I'm not talking about the percentage inside your city that still go out and still rock heavy and party heavy. I'm talking about the major. You know how many people that you used to see out there that you don't see no more? There's plenty of
well,
people.
people are weird. I mean, look at these people that are still wearing masks outside
True,
and masks in their car and,
true.
so on and so forth. Here's the bottom line. Even if the theory behind masks, um, you know, like was real, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Wearing it outside is not doing anything for you. I'm not really sure. But people, that's what the government did. They made everybody super paranoid. They made everybody scared.
Mm-hmm.
And then they locked everybody in their house. And people are creatures of habit. So once people get used to something or feel comfortable in something, that's the end of it. And
Absolutely.
people got very comfortable staying home, not having to get dressed, not having to interact with people, not having to worry about hygiene. That was my favorite thing as a nurse. All these people are, crying about the masks. And then if you've seen how filthy, dirty, and disgusting the masks they were wearing were, it
Mm.
was almost like comical,
Yep, I bet.
so
I bet.
it's like it's such a brainwashed mentality, but again, it really did, like Ali said, it changed people forever.
Absolutely.
And it changed the way we interact with each other socially. It put people on guard. It made people fear being around other people. It gave everybody this almost like, Ali, you're the same age as me, like the AIDS scare. Remember when they were like, oh, you can't go in the pools and you can't do this and you can't do that? And people were terrified.
Okay,
Like they
yep.
didn't want to shake people. dance. They didn't want to
Yep.
go out to eat. They didn't want to get tattoos. They didn't want to go to the dentist.
They were scared for their
Because we were
life.
told that for always, right? We were told that these were
Well, me
always
on
that
the
you were going
other end.
What'd you say, Kia?
Well, me on the other end, like I can agree with what you said, Meijin, but then like look at it from a different standpoint. People are just so easy to be fucking offended by the shit that people say. Who the fuck wants to walk up to a random person and start a conversation?
That's right.
You fuck around and
That's
say
right.
hi in the
right.
wrong tone and you to hurt somebody's feelings these days.
Absolutely,
A lot
absolutely.
of
At
that
this,
came through COVID, though.
okay,
Like, I
May,
don't know if you know.
May, hold on,
You guys
ladies, hold
know
on,
who
ladies,
Jeffree
hold
Star
on, ladies. But we're gonna finish this. We're gonna finish this. Please hold on, May. Keep what you're about to say. At this moment, we're gonna go to a commercial. Be right back. Oh shit.
It's a bright end of summer day at 1:50 p.m. A 24-year-old young man is outside, trying to make some money by selling weed and crack. Two guys, acquaintances, approach him and quickly shake, hands in greeting. They all share a blunt in friendship before two of them leave, while the third continues, hustling to provide for himself. After 40 minutes, the two guys return in an angered state. They complain about being threatened, assaulted, and robbed. They rant angrily, discussing the idea of getting a gun. I understood that they came to me because they knew I already had one, but since I didn't give mine up, promises were made to return, and for me to go with them. I complied and the two left, only to return about 6 hours later. We arrived at the house of the accused, but something felt off. Talks of betrayal and setups filled the air. As I sat and listened, I realized that this was the accused middleman. The accused denied all accusations, but as the conversation intensified, I noticed one of the people I came with start quickly, pulling out his pistol. He pointed it at the man and then quickly turned the gun towards the bed, a move meant to frighten the man into speaking. The man jumped every time the gun was quickly pointed at his chest. This torturous game continued for 8 rounds, becoming more and more intense. I remember by the 3rd round, the voice became lustful, dripping like salivation from the lips. The 7th round was particularly unsettling, as the conversation turned bloodlust and vengeful. But it was the 8th round that turned disastrous. The sound became mute, and all I remember is the bang, the flash, as the point-blank blast took its toll. A few moments passed, and sound returned only to hear a man holding his chest crying out, "You shot me! You shot me!"
Yes. Okay, May. Pardon me for the interruption right there. I had to take a commercial break for our sponsors. Can I get your statement, please?
So what I was saying is, Jeffree Star. Actually, I don't know. Do you guys know who Jeffree Star is? He does like cosmetics.
Okay.
He's like a model kind of guy, whatever. I'm sure he does other things.
I
If
use
you're
that stuff all the
listening or
time.
he cares get anything. But anyway, he does. He was on this whole podcast and he said that like a lot of the things, and to reference, he is transgender, so he is a male who dresses as a female.
Okay.
But he is very adamant about the fact that that he thinks that all the things with the pronouns and involving the children and everything was people like being bored during COVID. And he goes, into saying like that's what happens when people are left to nothing but their own minds, right? That they come up with all these weird kind of, like Kia was saying, things that offend them or things that upset them or things that they want, because you are essentially locked inside your own world. And we talked about this on another show when I said that no one is responsible for your emotional well-being, right? So at the end of the day, when the day ends, you can like something, not like it, agree with it, not agree with it, but it is not my responsibility to make sure that you are emotionally okay with it. And that's what has become broken in our society, because the government, in order to use us against each other, has actually convinced us that no, our feelings are all that matter, and that it doesn't really matter what the reality of the situation is, just how I feel about it. And that's like a scary place to be, I think. You
It's
know,
individualism,
it's
right?
too labile. Well, it's just too labile because people change how they feel about things all the time. That's why I hate labels. Like there's a big push in our society now. People are like, "Oh, well, why is there so much autism?" Well, it's really not, quote unquote per se any more or less. But the thing is now, in order to get services, there has to be a diagnosis, right? So there's not as many parents in the home. Parents aren't potty training kids like they used to. Now kids are 4 or 5 years old still wearing pull-ups and Pampers.
Damn.
They're not teaching kids how to talk. They're
Damn.
not
That's
they're
fucked up.
they're babying them
I
to
didn't
a
know that.
point of where they're doing them a disservice. And so then at that point, the government, of course, because we are a service-based industry, it's like, oh, well, we can send people in to teach your child how to, and I'm not dismissing because I don't want every advocate in the world coming at me. There are absolutely children who are lower functioning that have severe, severe issues that need different types of service. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about on a whole in general, in order to get any kind of service, whether it be the most minute or the most extreme covered, it has to have a diagnosis to be covered by insurance.
Yes,
And so
I
these are the
believe so.
broad spectrum terms that they use to be able to send people in to do these things and to do a lot of this behavioral modification that isn't already being done. So, well, why isn't it being done? Who knows? And because my whole thing is, as a society, if we really went from, like they're saying, none of this disease to where it's so prevalent, shouldn't we be asking where it's coming from and why it's happening and what we can do in the future to prevent it
I think they already know
instead
those
of just
answers.
managing, huh?
I think they already know those
What you
answers. They know the scientists who made it. They know where it's coming from.
they're saying no, that's not true. Like if you really read the research, they say no. So again, this is another thing with society that bothers me, right? Instead of just reacting to the outcome, let's figure out what's causing the situation. And this relates to friendships as well, right? Because people get mad at you for your reaction, but they really don't look at what the situation is that caused the reaction of the outcome. And that's another problem that we get into when we argue in our interpersonal relationships. Because if you're going to have successful communication, the first thing you have to do is agree on the objective facts, and then you have to be able to negotiate the subjective truths, right?
Okay. We spoke about that before in this show right here. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Uh oh. Uh oh. What in the world just happened here?
Not the organs.
Yeah. Oh no, what happened? What's going on? Okay, let me just go to my random screen, man. Fuck it. I tried to bring in my shit, but they ain't let me bring in my shit. Anyways, this is a part of the show. This is a part of the show where we get a random question from either the audience from either the audience, news and media, or we get a question about family and friends. And tonight, ladies, we have a question that says, if you could be friends with any fictional character, who would it be and why? Let's have some fun with this shit.
Oh my
All right,
goodness.
so Kia, you thinking real hard. Let me get that fictional friend and why.
Cause Rick and Morty.
Okay. Dope shit. I love it. Dope shit. I love that. I love that shit right there. May.
And it's only because I'm a goofball.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Okay. I
It's
agree.
only because I'm a goofball.
I agree.
And because half of the stuff that I be seeing, like even when it come down to the memes, I could see me doing some shit like that. So I
Okay.
think it's funny. That's who I want to be friends with.
Got you. All right,
We get
May.
along. We align on the same.
May, who is your fictional character and why?
I would want to be friends with Tiana from The Princess and the Frog.
Oh shit. Okay. Why?
because I like her conviction and her hardworking, what do you call it there? I can't think of the word.
Have you found a
Like when you're a
frog?
hard. No, I mean, what'd you say about the frog? I need
Have
a
you
frog.
found a
Yes, I
frog?
definitely. Maybe she could fry me a
Ah,
frog because, but she could also cook for me because everybody knows I hate to cook. So, I just figured it'd be a win-win.
okay. Okay. All right. I might not shock y'all with this, but my fictional friend would be Cujo.
Oh, the
It's
dog?
crazy because I believed you the moment that you said that. I just knew you had a
Ain't
response
nobody
somewhere
fucking with
along the
me.
line.
Bringing that big ass dog everywhere. Foam coming out of his mouth. Motherfucker ready to
Oh,
kill. This guy. My buddy. My buddy. Oh shit. Anyways, ladies, I had real fun with you guys tonight. I do have one more thing for us, and since my sound shit ain't working, I'm gonna just do it for it. Boing, sound off time. Oh shit! So I just started with Kia May. Sound the fuck off tonight. This is the time where you get to rant about anything you want.
so, this has been like conversations and situations I've had with various people over the past few weeks in regards to friendships and different relationships. So, the things I would like to say are, first and foremost, you can't make anyone like or value you. It does not matter what you do for them. People have this misconception that the more you put yourself out there and the more you do for someone and the more you extend yourself, the more they're going to like and value you. And unfortunately, that really isn't the case. If anything, those are usually the people that they discard the quickest, if we're being honest. Um, Secondly, like I said earlier, when people show you what they are, you have to believe them because when you keep allowing the same people back into your life, they just keep doing the same thing over and over, and it just becomes more egregious. So I definitely think that. And then the other thing is, the way we build healthy relationships and find healthy friendships is through having boundaries. Because the boundaries are what is going to protect us from people who want to use us. And then my final thought is whenever you're having a confrontation with someone, if they don't acknowledge what you're saying or they don't feel or seem like they want some form of resolution, it's because they don't value your relationship and they don't want to fix it. Because people will forgive people who do the most dirty things to them without question and act like nothing happened, and then hold you to a standard that they don't even hold themselves to and think
Right.
that it's perfectly fine. And that's when you have to tell yourself that those are people who don't want you in their life. And at
Right.
that point you just cut your losses and you keep it pushing.
Good one.
It is what it is. If they come back at another point, they do, and if they don't, they don't.
I don't want him to come back. I don't want him
Well, I'm with you.
to come back. Kia, sound the fuck off tonight, please.
Or so the main thing about friends that I have learned in like, growing up or whatever is that you can call somebody your friend and you can do something for them, but just because you would do it, you can't expect them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't
Amen.
expect you out of others. And it's official, y'all got under 25 weeks left of school.
Okay.
So I think I'm at like
Woohoo!
23
Okay.
weeks left now.
Okay. Okay.
So that's my sound off. Yep.
Good job,
That's
Mama.
it? Just 23 weeks?
Yeah. You know I'm excited. You
I'm
know
fucking
I'm
with you. I'm
excited.
fucking with you. I'm fucking with you. Okay. My sound off tonight. I've been crying about this all week. And I want to say life is hard, but fuck you. I'm going to keep grinding on this shit. I'm going to keep working
That's
every single
right.
fucking day. I'm going to keep banging this
Yeah.
shit out every fucking day, and I'm going to keep getting to this money. So let's do it. Let's get to this. Thank y'all. I love y'all for being here with me. I appreciate y'all. This show is amazing. And thank you guys for staying here with me. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a wonderful evening.